So we're going to go ahead and finish up this handle. We've got the pins already put in and the epoxy's already been set. So we're going to sand down these pins and we're going to contour all these edges here so that we get a nice looking handle. Anybody that's wondering, the wood is Paduak. I don't know if that's pronouncing it right, P-A-D-U-A-K. But looked pretty good. I've heard that it will start to lose a lot of its orange and get more of a red or a brownish color as time goes on. And then we'll go ahead and seal it. But before we start, we're going to do the first thing, which is cover up all of our fancy pretty work here with some tape so we don't end up getting scratches on our belts. I'm just using regular painter's tape. Alright, we're all set, so we're going to go off to the sander. First thing we're going to sand down is we're going to flatten out these pins. You can see they're sticking out quite a bit, so we're going to flatten those down first. Alright, so I've left a little bit on the pins there, and there's a reason for that. I'm going to take this over to a different belt sander, and what I like to do is run I have a 4x36 that I use, and I'm going to run that across the whole thing so that It's going to take the pins down, but it's also going to take a little bit of this wood stock off, and that will give us real nice clean lines. So any splinters or cracks that showed up in the wood from putting the pins in will be sanded away. And so you get a nice real tight line around your pins. So you'll see now we got really nice tight lines around there. No cracks, no splinters. So that'll come out really well once we're finishing up. So now I've got all my edges rounded out. You can see I've got a little bit of a bevel on all those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the slack part of the belt here. I'm actually going to loosen it up a little bit. I'm going to rock it back and forth over that slack part of the belt in a half moon motion, kind of all around the whole thing, just to try and get that round shape to the handle there. So we did a lot of hand sanding. We did 80 and then up to 120. You can see we've got our nice, no gaps here, real smooth. We're going to go and keep going, probably do 400 to really smooth out all this stuff here, get all these marks out, especially along this tang here, along the spine. The customer will really like to see that to be nice and smooth and to match up with the rest of the blade. But this Paduak is really cool, really orange. Looks like I've been grinding away Cheetos. So this will end up being really neat. We'll come back, do that with a 240, 400, and keep going, and then we'll cover that with an oil-based satin finish. Alright, so here's that same knife we were doing earlier. We went ahead and went up from 200 to 400 to 600, all along the spine here, all around the handle as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and seal the handle with an oil-based sealer. We're going to use General Finish oil-based sealer, and that'll give us that nice glossy look. Alright, so this is the sealer that we're going to use, General Finish Arm R Seal. It's an oil urethane top coat. It's just satin finish. You can get it in a high gloss finish, but I'm not quite experienced enough to get that nice shine. So we'll put 5 or 6 coats on this, and you're going to want to sand in between each coat. It takes about 24 hours for it to dry, and then you'll do a light sanding. You're just going to do what's called a white sanding. You're not trying to remove the coating. You just want enough that you're going to scuff it up so the next layer can adhere to it. So this stuff's pretty cheap. It lasts pretty long. It's about $12.50, if you can see there, for this can. It's been 4 or 5 knives. Alright, so here's what we've got with our first coat of that finish on. It'll lose some of that gloss, but not a lot of it when it dries. I use a sponge brush to put that on, and we'll wait till it dries till tomorrow. We'll sand that down and we'll just keep going.